Hi, good afternoon. We are broadcasting from South Florida and we will start in a few minutes. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here today. We will wait a few minutes because we are a few minutes late. Okay. Okay.
Why don't we start talking about what are we about?
Yes, we will start. So let's start talking about what we are here today. I'm Elena Herrero, one of the co-founders of Women Awakening Women, also known as WOW. Maybe you can hear Marta Jafetz, that is another of the co-founders. And the idea today is to share with yourself a little bit about the work that we do in Women Awakening Women and talk about setting intentions. So, Women Awakening Women is a movement, an initiative founded by women for women with the intention of unleashing our life and living at our best, at our fullest possible. We truly believe that women have the possibility to really excel. And when we excel, we are able to heal our communities, our families, and make them thrive as well. So we truly believe that the individual awakening and the collective awakening are two sides of the same coin. So we truly respect the individual as well as the community in which we participate. So we are firm believers in the power of the sisterhood and the community. Typically, in all our experiences, workshops, and activities in general, um, we start by doing some gentle moves and some breathing exercises. We believe that we are whole, we are a unity. So sometimes we live like dragging our body around, whereas our body is our fine instrument, and tuning in is really part of what makes us different and what makes us thrive. So we will start sitting in our chairs, palms on our thighs, can be palms downwards or palm upwards, whatever feels more comfortable for you. What is important, let me move my camera a little bit. What is important is that our elbows are back. So we open our collarbone and our um, shoulder bones get closer in the back, okay? So here we are sitting straight, and we will, with our shoulders back and down, inhale to the left very gently, exhale to the other side, inhale through the nose, exhale through mouth, in, X, last time, in, X. Back to the front, and now let's go again to one side, nose down. We are still with our shoulders back and down. You may feel the muscles of your neck talking to you. A couple of breaths in and out here. We are opening a space that typically is extremely contracted. To the front, to the other side, nose down, and feel the other side of the neck. Breathe there. Sometimes it's tight and we are softening and opening. Nose to the front and to the other side, nose down. Breathe there. Breathe in your neck. When we feel tight and we send the air there, that part of the body starts to open up to the front and to the other side, nose down. Couple of breaths in and out. Back to the front, and now we will do circles with our nose, very small and very slow, clockwise. So let's start clockwise. We still have the shoulders back and down. The circles are larger and larger. We are doing circles with our head very gentle. And when we reach the maximum, change direction, and now the circles are smaller and smaller. I am feeling and listening my neck moving and cracking a little bit. Once you get to the center, stop the move. Couple of breaths in and out. And then with your fingertips, let's tap our scalp, opening nerve endings. It's a highly sensitive part of our body. So open up your scalp, the crown of your head. And to finalize, let's tap in our sternum. That is balancing our nervous system. Couple of breaths in and out. Okay, so let's talk about setting intentions. Well, it seems that Martha couldn't join me, so let's go a little bit about some of the questions that we typically are asked when we work with our clients about intention. So the first question is, what is an intention? What are we talking about here? So what we like to say is where you put your attention, you set your intention. So there is one approach that is very related to neuroscience that talks about concentrating and focusing the attention to drive intention. Let's say that you are thinking in buying a red Subaru, inventing a new car. And you start to see red Subarus everywhere. And you say, like, what's going on here? I mean, do everyone now want to buy a Subaru, a red Subaru? The thing is, red Subarus were there always, forever. You just were not paying attention. Now that you are focusing your attention in a red Subaru, because that is your intention, you want to buy one, you start to realize things that were always there. You were just not paying attention, were things that were not relevant for you. Um, Same thing happened when sometimes a woman get pregnant and they say, okay, what's going on? Everyone is pregnant. The rate of pregnancy is always the same. Now you are paying attention. So there is a lot around focusing attention on something to really drive the energy towards that. There is other way also to work on intentions that is related to how do I want to feel. So let's say that I want to feel safe. And when I concentrate in feeling safe, I may find different ways of doing that. Maybe something related to where I live. Maybe there's something related to where I hang out with. Maybe something related to how do I take care of my body or what is the food that I take in. So um, focusing in creating certain sensations, certain emotions, certain feelings is also another way of driving attention to an intention. I want to feel in certain way. I want to feel generous. I want to feel loved. I want to feel elegant. I want to feel wealthy. I want to feel, okay? So different venues, flip side of the coin, there are people that are much more related to focusing the attention in something that I want to pursue. Some other people are more prone to how I want to feel and drive their actions around how I want to feel. There is another way. Let me try to invite Martha. A sec. There is another question that we usually receive that is much more related to what happens if I derail? I say that I wanted to go to the gym or go walking with a friend 3 times a week. And it's already Thursday and I did it just once. So, okay, you know what? Forget about it. Many times we just relinquish things because in our minds we thought that we were going to, and seems a little more difficult, or the situation is not necessarily curated enough. One of the things that we always say is how you get into a habit, doing it. So even if you, instead of 3 times this week, just went once to the gym or walking, is 100% better than last week that you were not doing anything. So we strive for progress over perfection. So starting to move into the right direction is definitely something much better than what we had when we were stagnant, just doing nothing. Another question that we typically receive is, how do I know that an intention is the right intention for me? It is good for me. There is something that's why we work with the body quite a lot, because tuning with our body really creates a communication and a connection and basically unfolds our inner wisdom. So when we are connected, and an intention that we want for ourselves, that we want to set for ourselves, is expansive and makes the world larger, is typically a good intention. If something that we want for ourselves, or we say that we want for ourselves, reduces our world, constrains ourselves, diminish ourselves, probably is not the right intention for us. Something that helps a lot is materializing somehow what I want for myself. So a technique that we use a lot is called the vision board, and is how I put on a paper or digitally visuals and words that prompts me towards what I want for myself. So something that we do is we print, whether we do it if we do it digitally, we print what we did in our computer, or we have a piece of paper and affix that onto a place that you can see every day. It can be on your fridge, in the mirror in your restroom, can be your screensaver. So multiply the opportunities in which you are reminding yourself about what you want for you. Our question that we receive is, okay, what if I didn't set my intentions at the beginning of the year? Can I set intention any time of the year? Yes, of course you do. The beginning of the year is a universal reset, and is in the northern hemisphere is the recovery of the light after the dark winter. The light comes again, and that's why days are longer. So there is, depending where you live, there is a nature cycle that talks about rebirthing, relighting, rekindle. So that's why that's why the beginning of the years are so important, and everyone, talks about that. But of course, you can set intentions in any moment of the year. Some other question that we receive is, okay, if I completed my intentions, can I set new ones? Yes, of course you can. So sometimes once we set the intention, things that seem to be impossible starts to happen. Something that happens, and Martha and I also talk about this. Once you set an intention, either because you come from focusing the attention, or recreating how you want to feel, when someone gathers your energy, you start to realize that there are much more resources available than you thought. You start to talk about that. So out of the blue, people that you know tells you about someone that they know that is trying to find someone to do exactly the thing that you want to do, is trying to partner, or is looking for a consultant or a coach, or is looking, to, I don't know, open a bakery, and you happen to be a super baker, and out of the blue you have a partner to launch the business that you want to. So when we focus the energy and start to talk and to see the things that really are gonna be resources, you start to find allies. There is a community out there waiting to be engaged. Now, people cannot be engaged if you don't know what you want to recreate, how you want to feel, what are the things that are important to you. So once you set the energy, things start to align, the planets start to align, and we are able to accelerate what we wanted to achieve, what we wanted to realize. So sometimes things that were impossible happens in a few months, and you reset a new set of intentions, and you start all over again. Sometimes also may happen that starting the journey, we say, maybe I set this intention, and maybe there is something that is prior to that. Or maybe I thought that what I wanted was a new home, The feeling that I want to recreate is feeling safe. And maybe I realized that the way of for me to feel safe is gathering more frequently with loved ones. So maybe the money that I was going to spend on a house, I spent in traveling to see friends that live in a different country. So I'm honoring my intention of feeling safe. But maybe I realized along the way that the way to get there is not exactly what I thought that was going to produce that feeling or that achievement. So sometimes when we start to be much more attuned with ourselves, we find some underground currents that most of the time hold a lot of wisdom and really prompt us to get where we want to go. How we measure that we got our intention, something that we recommend is to set certain milestones. Sometimes things that we want for ourselves seems too afar, and when we break down into pieces that are much more doable, that I can do every week or I can measure myself every month, really you start to see the progress. And again, one of our mantras is progress over perfection. You don't need to be perfect. We all are perfectible. So we are always striving towards perfection. We will never be perfect, and that is fine. What we need is to move forward. We don't need to be perfect to be happy or to be enough. We are already enough, and being on the journey and being on the move is really what makes us happy. Many times, progressing is what really keeps the energy going. And we said, I want to lose 10 pounds, and I'm already in 10 pounds. You know what? Now I want to lose another extra 5. The feeling of progressing, I mean, the stamina is something chemical that happens in our brain when we have more oxytocin, the love chemical component, rather than cortisol and adrenaline in our brains. So we start to feel, I mean, that is extremely pleasant to be moving and to be achieving. And sometimes we're a little dormant, we were stationary too long. When we start to move, we start to see the endorphins and the oxytocin moving. Something that we work a lot in Women Awakening Women is in visualizing a first step. Sometimes things doesn't come to fruition and people really do not move along because they cannot visualize the first step. So once you are able to understand and to talk about what is the first things that needs to happen. And an example that sometimes I use with some clients is, let's say that in my area of leisure and hobbies, I want to play a chess tournament by the end of this year. And I never play chess. So I know that, okay, I need to buy a chessboard. I need to enroll in some chess classes. I need a buddy to practice chess and to play. I need to enroll and sign up for a chess tournament so I can play a chess tournament by the end of the year. Now, if I never buy the chessboard, that is the first step, I will never play in a chess tournament. Now, in the middle, maybe some of the steps, I change it, I change the sequence, or I change it altogether. But the first step, once I visualize the first step and I'm able to move the energy towards, things start to unfold. That is what we want and what happens when we are on the move. Okay. Something that to close the energy today is something that I will want to, shed some light on, because it's something that we um, talk about and practice in Women Awakening Women, is the power of awareness. And awareness comes hand to hand with slowing down, and sometimes also creating some silence. We are permanently on a rush. And it's like when we are driving a car, you see things passing. Maybe are trees, maybe are people, maybe are buildings. You really are not paying attention. You are, going there. Laser view, sometimes very useful. Now, when we are on a laser, in a laser view mode, we lose the 360 perspective. We don't know what is here. When we slow down, let's say that you are sitting in your car, but you are looking for an address. So you are really very slowly driving, and you are checking the numbers in the houses. So now you are paying attention. You see the numbers, you see the houses, you see a dog, you see the plants that are in front of in the front yard. So now you have a 360. So what we try to produce and to generate in the activities that we offer in Women Awakening Women, and what we do with our body, moving our body and deepening the breathing, is one of the ways of doing that, is producing a slowdown of our natural velocity to be aware of what's around us, what happens in our inner landscape, as well as in the external landscape, and we pay attention and we listen. So a first step is really creating a space in which we can do that. What we do in WOW, in Women Awakening Women, is creating a safe container and a proven process to partner with women that want to start a journey in a collective environment. Not alone, not by themselves, with some hand holding, and creating a space that is conducive to achieve what they want. So the invitation is out there for us to join us. We will post our website. You are more than welcome to browse our website, see the activities that we have, check our blogs, and start to get into the mood, and hopefully set wonderful intentions for yourself for this year. So we are closing now. Thanks a lot for being here. If you are watching us later, if you are watching to the recording, let us know, and let's keep the conversation going. So thank you very much. See you soon.